Good morning, folks. 7th of March. (2024). Not going to go to South Haven today. We're going to keep going north here on 131. Take a little look at a building that recently over $300 million was spent building it, and its grand opening is today. And get to see a little bit of the sunrise off here to our east, or to the right. Beautiful cruise up 131 this way in the fall, especially with the colors. It's going to be some more road work up here at the Business Loop 131. I remember when they put the Business Loop in. I remember driving back from Grand Rapids with a large box truck I was riding. I was only about 9 years old. I was riding with a delivery driver, and helping with the unloading and stuff, and working for my father's business. And we took that incoming bypass for the first time. Man, did it cut the time off from getting back into town. A direct route from the north into the city of Kalamazoo, and the same as going out. Now they're going to be improving that exit, making the exits more friendly up here and so forth. I understand it. See what they're going to do with it. Right here, the train used to come across. Right here was a train right away, and that was taken out years ago. I remember when they removed the tracks. You can see them cutting the trees down here and everything along sides of the road, getting ready for the work on this exit. And right here will be some of it. Right here, there's going to be an exit, making it much more friendly. It's going to all change here in the next 2 years. That's pretty cool, but that didn't cost and isn't going to cost $300 million. I'm going to go up here a little further and look at that project. I shall be right back. Let's see, we're just 45 miles south of Grand Rapids. The highway here is brand new, about 3.5 years ago. Of course, poured cement with seams, expansion seams, and that's where over the next couple of years here, the water will get in there and so forth, and the expansion and contraction will start, and then they'll begin to repair this. Right now it's nice and shiny cement. Remind you of the Autobahn in Germany, except this is a little bit ripply. They lay down a smoother coat there. If you ride along here, you'll feel it. You'll feel it. There's the famous D Avenue rest area. Coming up here on D Avenue. That was infamous. Many years ago, I think I was still in high school. I believe I was still in high school, late 70s. And that turned out they had to close that rest area. There were some really bad things happening in there, and there was some undercover people came in and took a look and found it to be more than true. I'm not going to mention any of the names of the people that were found in there, but there were some highfalutin Kalamazoo and local individuals. What they were doing is meeting in there for sex, and they were taking up the restrooms. All these guys in there, they took big bore saws and cut 4 or 5 inch holes in the panels between the toilets, so that they could have reach-throughs and look-throughs and whatever, and what they were doing in there. And so the place was raided, many arrests that night, as I remember, they had to bring a school bus or something up there to load the people all up in, something about that. But anyways, they closed it for quite a while, and then they cleaned the whole place up. And of course, the old building, I believe that was been raised, and it's been all reconfigured in there, and all that's all forgot. But yeah, back in the day, I remember driving by there and thinking, man, oh man, just think. But yep, bad things can happen anywhere, and it happened back there. They're coming down a valley here now. I'm going to cross the Kalamazoo River up here. We get just a little north of Plainwell. Yes, there is an operating paper mill in Otsego. I forgot to mention the other day. It was called out to me by one of my subscribers, and yes, that's right. They still are. There's a Christmas tree farm right here. And but anyways, yes, we're not going to be going by Otsego today. I'm not taking that route. We're going north. See you in a few minutes. This is pretty much the way the state of Michigan looks until you get like the Grand Rapids. Once you go north, your highways very rural, out in the country. Okay, right up here on the right hand side, back probably 3/8 of a mile from the highway here, is a large slaughterhouse and purveyor. Another nice old barn over here. You can see them, pretty cool. And you can just see the light shining off the facility over here on the right. Okay, and I can remember guys that graduated from high school went to work there. Drive all the way from Schoolcraft up here and go to work there. And back then it was called Merco Meats. Anyways, old Merco. So now that right there's the high school. Okay, can't see the meat place. It's kind of hidden. They had a little issue with employees, and whoever owned it then, I think the name had changed, so forth. But the authorities went in there, and again had to bring a school bus. They found dozens of illegal migrants working in there, and I remember watching them load them all up, and they were being loaded up on school buses and taken out of there. And so that put a big dent in the meat processing there for a while. And the last I knew, they had grown by leaps and bounds, like more than doubling the size of the place. Doing well. Everybody's documented now. Here's the Kalamazoo River. Kind of see it down here. Still has a little ripple to it. This is a new bridge. This was part of the project. I mentioned the washboard effect. You know, we may have these, and you see this has been done in asphalt right here between these two bridges. There's another bridge we're going to cross. This was new as well, and then we'll go back into cement again. But yeah, in Germany, you ride that Autobahn, and it is smooth, baby smooth. Okay. Here they're nice brand new roads, but they have that washboard effect to it, not as smooth. Here's the end of the little city airport here in Plainwell. You can see the semi right here, and look right beyond it. There's the end of the airport. And those planes sometimes be a little too heavy or whatever, and they would take off and barely clear the highway fence And there are stories of them making it and gaining enough altitude and just barely flying over the top of vehicles. And then there's the story where the semi, like that one was, coming by and they didn't make it and they went right into the side of the semi trailer. Yeah, sure enough. If you took off the opposite direction into the east, not far from the end of that runway were high tension power lines, similar to the ones that you see right here coming up over the top of the highway right here. And they had markers placed on the cables so the pilots could see the lines, I guess as they were taking off towards the east. If they decided they couldn't make it, they could at least duck under the wires, I guess. I don't know if anybody ever did that, but yeah, I heard a story of a man that took off out of there in a twin Baron, twin engine Beechcraft Baron. Took off to the west, 0 wind conditions, or no wind, and barely made it out of there. Absolutely never do it again. The individual had a couple of warning lights come on, so to speak, and needed to put the aircraft down. He was too far away from Allegan or Kalamazoo, and so he made it in there just fine. But boy, almost didn't get out. You see? And people say, well, there's a T-28 military jet there on display as you enter into the airport grounds. How did they fly that in there? They didn't. It was taken in on a flatbed truck and reassembled there. Yeah. Anyways, stories of the airport. We're going to go up here and see some more story. We're actually almost there. Over here is the 131 Motor Park Martin Dragway. Sunday! The Nationals. That's where it all happens, right in there. There's the lights. 444.29. Boy, he was going really fast. Famous Route 222 Martin exit. I've gone back there before and watched Don Garlett's race in front engine dragsters back in the day. Walked the pits. I remember that was a big deal. It was $6 to get into the drags, general admission, but if you wanted a pit pass, that was another $8. And man, that was like, hard to come up with. Really, I'm not kidding you. And boy, look at they're developing the road, all going from 222 down to the dragway. Wow, something's going in here big time. But yeah, I remember having that pit pass, and it was looked like a large bookmarker, all flashy with a string on it. A heavy hole that the string was tied through. You could tie it right onto your person, your belt or whatever, and everybody knew that you were allowed in the pits. And go in there and watch that, man, that was so cool. This used to be a Stuckey's right here. Of course, this bridge is all new. A lot of the infrastructure as we get closer up here to the exit has been updated and taken care of a little bit more, I'm gonna say, than usual. Okay, we'll probably see the funding source behind that old farm right here. There, old farm. Another one right over here too. Okay, have road workers here. You have to give any road workers wide berth. Just like that, Michigan Department of Transportation vehicle. Probably looking for old blowed out rubber and everything along the shoulders of the road. Pick it up. Okay, I'll be right back. Of course, as you travel along, you'll see cell phone towers right over here on the right. Anytime you see something like that, it denotes the highest point in this area right there. That's where they put them. Some farmer right here in that field was contacted by the cell phone company and wanted a little plot of land there. Needed to pay that farmer a little something, either lump sum or monthly or annually. As I understand, it was kind of like an oil well on your property. I don't know. I don't have oil on my property, and I don't have a cell phone tower. But there's another one coming up here on the left. We're getting closer to Grand Rapids, the second largest city in the state. And so there's an awful lot of electronic movement. The famous Shelbyville exit. I used to meet people here, a box truck, and do branch transfers right up here at this exit ramp. Oh, here has a little dairy operation going on. As you travel along, you see these little flows and little small creeks leading into ponds alongside the highway, and so forth. Call Sam. Injured? Okay, we're approaching the Bradley Hopkins area. And over here, on the right-hand side, you can see what just cost $300 million. The crane's still on top of the building. Yeah, you better book now. This whole interchange right here used to be 2-lane highway like it is, but we got one exit ramp and one on-ramp. The road on top here was 2-lane. This is the Gun Lake Casino and their brand new $300 million tower, turning this into a true resort now. We'll go up here and take a quick look. There's going to be a gun show here this weekend. Here in Michigan, that's a big time thing. Go to the gun show. Boy, this is all reconfigured, completely changed. Unbelievable. We'll turn in here a second, see what this kind of looks like. I guess they have valet parking. They have no valet parking. Boy, I think they said it's close to 250 rooms and 30 suites. The Tribe opened the casino here back in 2009, I think it was the first phase. We'll go over here and take a look at the first phase. This is the second phase. I'm not really seeing a whole lot right here yet, so I'm going to do a little turnaround here. Looking over here into the east isn't any fun. I think they said they have 200 and some acres here, but there's a lot of property that they still have over to the north right here for expansion. So we must stop right here for a second. Let these guys go. I came up here one time when it was my daughter's 21st birthday. Her mother and I took her up here to go to the buffet. We don't gamble. There's their snow pile. Let's turn in here. And kind of going the wrong way. I'll tighten that up here a second. So anyway, they wouldn't let us in. Even though my daughter was 21 years old, they claimed that her skirt was too short. Well, it was a nice, clean, brand new looking skirt, and her top and everything, her shoes, it was halfway between the knee and the thigh, and they would not let her in here. We couldn't believe it. So, swear. Up, just like that. All right, here's the front of the main casino. Right here. Here's the valet entrance. That lot's closed. And this goes right along the front of the building. Now when you go over to the casino in Battle Creek, that's the Firekeepers. Another band over there has that casino. And very, very beautiful place. It's a gorgeous place, that other casino. Excellent, excellent buffet. And we went right over there and got right in. Okay, 300 million. Boy, extended gas station over here too. Look at here. They're building other things back here in the woods. All right, I got to get out of the sun. There's the tribal police right there. Then you cross over the railroad tracks into Wayland. I think that used to be a church. I've never been in this little town. Hey. We're gonna head southbound out of here. This little place here on the corner, huh? Yeah. We are now on what's known as Old 131. This was the old highway before the highway that we were on coming up here was put through. This is the way we had to go all the way up north until you could get up to Cadillac and then cross over and pick up 75 going north to the Mackinac Bridge. But this was the old highway. I've traveled this many times, so I must have gone through Wayland back there, but it was when I was a boy riding with my parents and brothers going up to Cadillac. Nice old farm right here. Boy, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Property right there. Probably see more of that along here, I am sure. Okay, we'll be right back as we head southbound on Old 131. Be right back. Bet you those high tension power lines weren't there when that barn was built. I'll guarantee it. Farmhouse either. power lines weren't front yard. That's for sure. See a lot of this. You go through these little older areas. This is Shelbyville. Here in Shelbyville, at the stop sign, if we make a left, it'll take us right to Gun Lake. This little restaurant right here, it's a little tavern. They have outrageous olive burgers in there. Absolutely the bomb. If you like that olive burger. Entering Martin Township. Another nice old farm right here. That's what you're gonna see along here. About every mile, mile and a half, another established old farm, old barns. Please keep in mind, when this was old 131, the lanes were just a little narrower and there was no shoulder of the road. You can see now there's about a 2 or 3 foot shoulder on the other side of the white line. Okay, well, it'd go right from the white line, meld right into the grass, and so they widened the road itself, made it safer, but then it was no longer a highway anymore. Yep. But that's how it glows in this part of the state. Another operation right over here on the left. Plenty of silage storage and the old barns. Rolling topography. When you get that rolling topography, you start finding stones. Okay? Start finding a little bit loamier soil. We are getting near the bottomlands. The river is up here a ways. This big boulder right here, and I mentioned about stones. Some sandhill cranes right there as well.